What's up guys, welcome back to Deck Tech for Decks. Today we're taking a look at Urtet, and this guy is in the running for the most powerful commander in Phyrexia All Will Be One, and let me explain. On top of being a colorless 3/3 that comes down really early, he creates a ton of useful fodder. Additionally, he untaps all of your mirrors at the beginning of each combat, and we are going to abuse the crap out of that. So stay tuned and let's get into the deck tech. Let's talk about what I think we can abuse the best with this commander, sort of Feast and Famine. Obviously, as long as we're attacking, we can go ahead and untap our lands, right? Well, if we pair that with Aggravated Assault, boom, we have infinite mana, infinite combat steps, and we can use our commander to go ahead and buff our mirrors up a ton and then just take everybody out. Additionally, we can use Cryptolith Rites the same way, right? Since our commander untaps our mirrors, as long as we have 4 mirrors to activate Aggravated Assault, boom, we have infinite combat steps. Well, what if you don't have Aggravated Assault? We can use Najeela the Blade Blossom the same way. Additionally, she's just going to create a massive board herself, right? As long as we have 5 mirror tokens and a way to tap for Wooburg, we're good. But I see what you're saying. Cryptolith Rites and Sword of Feast and Famine, that's only 2 cards, so you're not going to get this infinite combo every time. Well, what if I told you we could add Derevi to that, right? Now we're untapping our lands and we're just adding more cards that go into this combo. Moving on from going infinite, Animar Soul of the Elements is going to be amazing in this deck, right? Because we can go ahead and, as long as he has 3 counters on him, cast all of our mirrors for free. Yes, for free. And once we're able to cast our mirrors for free, we can go ahead and add Hullbreaker Horror to this mix, right? Now we can go ahead and create infinite mirror tokens using our commander, because we'll be able to cast a mirror, bounce it back to our hand, and go ahead and cast it again. That way we can create infinite mirror tokens, and that's going to end our opponents. Another card I think is going to be absolutely bonkers in this deck is Bloodthirster, right? Because usually Bloodthirster, he's only good for attacking by himself, right? But our commander untaps all of our mirrors at the start of combat. So we're just going to get 3 additional combats for free, and we're going to be able to attack with all of our creatures during those combats. Again, it sounds pretty crazy. Now, because I'm a terrible person, I did throw Helm of the Host in this deck so we can go ahead and create infinite combo steps with Bloodthirster, but you don't have to go that route if you don't want to. Alright, that stuff's pretty powerful. Let's tone it down a little bit with Shimmer Dragon. This one's just pure value, right? Since our commander untaps our mirrors at the start of combat, we can tap 2 of them or however many we have to draw a lot of cards with Shimmer Dragon. Similarly to Cryptolith Rites, we can use our mirror tokens for mana and then they untap at the start of combat to attack. Lastly, I just wanted to talk about Ugin. This guy's insane in the deck because he's essentially a one-sided board wipe. All of our mirrors are going to be safe and all of our mirror tokens are going to be safe. The only thing that's going to go is our colored permanents, but once that happens, we should be able to take our opponents out anyway. Alright, let's talk about the mirror we're running in the deck. We have 9 different mirrors that tap for mana. This is extremely useful for ramp, right? Because remember, our commander's gonna untap them. So whether we want to attack that turn or not, our commander's still gonna untap them. It essentially gives you 2 main phases to utilize your mana dorks, which can be pretty impactful. We are then running 13 other mirrors. Some of them are just vanilla creatures, but let's hit on those really important ones. Mirror Battlesphere. You obviously have to include this guy. Think of having extra combats and how big we can get this guy just by tapping all of our mirrors, throwing all of their power into Mirror Battlesphere. The damage we're going to be able to do will be insane. Mirror Galvanizer will let us untap all of our mirrors, so we're just doubling up on our commander's ability there. Mirror Kinsmith is just going to let us tutor up for one of our mirrors. Mirror Propagator can create a token of itself that we can then use to make a token of itself, so we can go pretty wide with this guy if we just have a lot of mana and nowhere to put it. Mirror Retriever, we can get mirror from our graveyard and artifacts from our graveyard, so pretty useful. Shimmer Mirror is going to give all of our artifacts flash, so we can play at instant speed as long as we're casting artifacts, which there is a lot in this deck. Alright, let's move on to the core of the deck. We have Kodama of the West Tree. Our commander does divvy out 1/1 counters, so to be able to ramp with those is going to be pretty useful. Helm of the Host, as I said, we include this because of that juicy infinite with the Thirster himself. Brutaclad, I really like this guy because he's going to double up on those mirror tokens. Additionally, if we equip Helm of the Host to this guy and just start making tokens of Brutaclad, that sounds pretty fun. Kamal Hardacrosa, on top of giving all of our creatures trample, he's going to give them +3. Just add one additional combat to that and you're giving everybody +6/+6. This guy's going to go insane with the Bloodthirster and probably in the game. Imri, Lurker of Lock. This one's just really useful for casting our cards that end up in the graveyard, right? We're playing a lot of Mirror, we're going to lose a lot of Mirror, so it's going to be useful to cast a lot of Mirror from the graveyard. Sun Titan. Since we're playing a lot of Mirror cards, this guy works on like 50% of our deck, so he's a pretty useful include. Meridian Besieged. This can either double up on our commander's ability to create mirror tokens, or we can use it as a pseudo card advantage, you know? Fabricate. This card hits multiple cards that are really useful in the deck. If you need card draw, you can go ahead and grab yourself a Skull Clamp. You need your infinite combo, grab Sword of Feast and Famine, or if you need your other infinite combo, you can grab Helm of the Host. It's just really versatile and does a lot in the deck. Worldly Tutor. There's a lot of really powerful creatures in the deck, and this gives us access to all of them. Anchor to Reality. Like I said, this one's good, the same reasons Fabricate is. All of those artifacts I mentioned are also equipment, and this card tutors up for equipment. And finally, screw it, we are running Diabolic Intent, because this will give us access to our whole deck. Pretty good. Alright guys, let's take a look at that card draw. We are running Kindred Discovery. Whenever we cast a mirror enters the battlefield, or a mirror attacks, we're drawing a card. So notably, with our commander on the battlefield, if we cast one mirror, we're drawing 2 cards. That's pretty insane on itself. Beast Whisperer, we are going to be playing a lot of cards that draw us a card whenever we cast a creature spell, because we're going to be casting a lot of creature spells and they're going to be pretty cheap, so why not? Soul of the Harvest, Guardian Project, Canoptic Spider, these all fit that category of just drawing a card whenever we cast a creature spell. Additionally, Tulane will do the same thing, as well as give us some ramp. It can even bounce a mirror back to our hand if we want to recast it for more value. Joyra Weatherlight Captain ends up doing the same thing because all of our mirrors are artifacts in addition to their creature typing. Lastly, we have Primordial Sage. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but I was going for like a turbo mirror, cast all your creature spells type kind of card draw category, which I think is the way to go with this deck. Lastly, like I said earlier, we are running Skull Clamp because just Skull Clamping those 1/1 mirrors is going to be extremely useful. Lastly guys, let's take a look at this removal. We are running Retribution of the Ancients. Our commander can put a lot of 1/1 counters on our creatures, and then we can then take those 1/1 counters off to kill our opponent's creatures. -1/-1 counters are an extremely useful removal tactic because it even gets around indestructible. Beast Within, solid permanent removal. Generous Gift, I like pairing these two together because again, it gets rid of any permanent. Legions to Ashes, this one's really good because it can get rid of other token strategies. Additionally, it can just get rid of any non-land permanent. An Offer You Can't Refuse, just a really efficient counterspell. Swan Song, again, we like those really efficient counterspells. And Siren Storm Tamer. I love this girl because honestly, it's a mind game, right? They constantly have to think, man, is he going to counter that? Do I do it? And they end up just not doing it and using it on a different player half the time. Organic Extinction. I like this because we're not using organic creatures, right? We're using fun little mirror. I say fun little mirror, but this deck sounds like a monster. Anyway, this is basically a one-sided board wipe that's going to let us keep all of our creatures. Anguished Unmaking, just really efficient removal. And guys, that's going to do it for the deck. So go ahead and leave your suggestions in the comment section for how we make this deck better, what you think about the deck tech, and I'll see you in the next one.